I was asked on a recent podcast, why are so many men giving up? And that was a response to my "so many men are giving up" video. And I kind of fumbled a little bit of the question because it is multifaceted, and I was trying to bring multiple things together in one cohesive answer. But it made me think for a few days afterwards, like, how could I summarize it? How could I give it a bird's eye view of why so many men are giving up? And I feel like there's two major reasons that sit at the heart of it. Okay, so for men, generally speaking, when they operate in a society, they need two things, two major things. And that is, they need to feel useful and they need to feel respected. And unfortunately, in the West today, a lot of men feel neither. So let's start with feeling useful. So if you go back to the 50s, 60s, maybe early 70s, a man felt very useful. The average guy, the average man felt incredibly useful. He was able to go to work and have a good job, be comfortable in that regard, and provide. His wage was able to provide for a family. A single wage was able to provide for a family, and the man was expected to be the one to go and do that. In fact, there wasn't much choice. That was the case. And then, of course, as we know, women get into the workplace, right? The introduction of the birth control pill, women were able to go into the workplace and they were able to go to work. And you see what's happened over the last 50, 60 years with women's liberation, which there's many positives to it, of course, along with mass inflation, has eradicated most men's ability to provide for a family on a single wage. And that's made a lot of men, even if they are working themselves, not feeling so useful. If they feel like they can't provide, if they can't provide on a single income, then it hurts them in a way. And not only that, so then the downstream of that is, so women go into the workplace and now they're not as reliant on a man to provide for them and secure and help them out financially, so because they can go and get the bag themselves. And as we know, women date across and up social hierarchies. So what that means is the pool of men becomes even smaller of who they can date. So now there's more men who not just can't provide, they can't even get a woman anymore. So then that's coming into play. And then you get, like, modern day, cherry on the cake is social media and dating apps. And suddenly now the pool of men that are attractive to women, now women are earning more and more money, and now you got dating apps, and now they have access. Now they, let's say 15, 20 years ago, they were still restricted in a way that, you had to be with someone locally and as good as guys you could get locally. But now they don't have to get the local average guy. Now they can get access to higher level guy, whether that be looks or money, whatever it is, who's maybe 20 miles away and 30 miles away, because they can just swipe an app and see and get in contact with them. And so now the pool of men who can't even attract women is even smaller. So not only have wages been eaten into by mass inflation, and that means men's ability to provide for a family just by themselves has been taken away in large part. Now, the amount of women that find them attractive, right, and find them an attractive partner, there's so many men now that don't have that and don't have that option. And then you throw in, on top of all this, of course, with feminism and third wave feminism, and feminism crossed the line between equality and power a long time ago. And so now it is about power. And in order to do that, they have to raise women up whilst simultaneously bringing men down. And it's everywhere. The disrespect on men is everywhere. For example, if you have a woman who's a boss, right? She's a boss. She's getting the bag. She's doing great. But then you have a man who's a boss, and he's just contributing to the patriarchy, the oppressive patriarchy and all this. So men are being disrespected everywhere, left, right, and center, for just existing, just being men. we're told that we're oppressing women, right? And we're contributing to that, and our behavior and masculinity is toxic, and yada, yada, yada. And then what you have is a society that more and more men feel less valuable, less desired, and less respected. And there's no wonder that we have a culture of so many men who are giving up. And it's also a culture, and a failing culture that has seemingly has no future, that's heading down a dark path. You're not going to be able to, you're not going to be able to own your own home. You're not going to be able to own anything. What's the World Economics Forum's quote, right? You'll own nothing and be happy. That's not a future people can buy into. And so men are checking out. Men are giving up in the workplace and in women. And I think those are the two fundamental reasons why. So how do we change it? Man, I don't have all the answers. Clearly, no one man does. I've spoken about this. If you check out of this culture and this society and the dating market and whatnot, fine. I understand it. And I respect it as long as you don't give up on yourself. But I do believe there's always a choice to make. Whether that's it, you check out, but you don't give up on yourself, you focus on yourself, go live in the woods, or focus on your own mental health or spirituality, whatever it is, or that's great. I'll support that. I respect that. And then there's other options, maybe it's to start your own business. Maybe it's like a political thing. And you wanna fight the good fight. Maybe I've bought into that for a while. All of this has been done by design. I'm a big believer in that. People have been pulling the strings, purposely leading us down this direction. But if that can be done, maybe we can take a leaf out of that book, start again, and turn the ship back around somewhere else. I am starting to lose a bit of faith in that belief. I'm thinking maybe this is an unstoppable phenomenon that's going on in the West. Maybe we can't reverse the ship. I'm not sure. But there's still options. There's still options to operate within the West in the future, to distance yourself from that. Maybe it's making enough money and having your own little community going, or something like that. Living like the Amish or something. I don't know. But there are options. And I will continue to look for them and dive into them. And I will discuss these on this channel as time progresses, and talk about this. But I'm not going to sit here and proclaim I have the answers. This is certainly with this topic, like, how does the West change? How does the West turn the ship around and get better? I'll be putting my thoughts out there, and this will be like a continual discussion I'd like to have on this channel. And as always, I'd love to know your thoughts.